Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the next episode of the Tattoos and Toddlers podcast. If you were listening to the previous episode, I had my shirt on inside out. My interview went inside out as well, and I'm so excited about that kind of stuff too because here in this space, I just like having conversations and it will go where it needs to go. And today I'm very excited to bring somebody to you from across the world who has just been fabulous to talk with. So let's get to my guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, thank you for having me. My name is Laetitia. I come from France, but I'm based in Spain and actually traveling the world at the moment, being a full-time model and creating art with photographers around the world. That's creating art and inspiring others, is my mission.
Yeah, and y'all are gonna have to look up her work though, because she's got this nice little intro, but you have to see the work to see what she's talking about because she's got some mind-blowing posing and what you were also a ballet dancer, right?
Yes, professionally, yeah, before
Professional
modeling.
ballet dancer. So the poses, and as most of you know, the poses that a ballet dancer can put themselves into is just like, it's like sugary frosting for us photographers who love weird and quirky poses that are just not your normal stuff. So I'm excited to have you today. Thank you for coming on all the way from Spain. I love it so much. So, and one thing we talked about briefly was talking about how this career, you knew you wanted to do it from a long, long, young age, right? But
Yeah, the
also
ballet,
we're,
yeah. Mm.
yeah. And so, but also we're going to talk about the fact that this journey has led you to a book, which I
Yeah.
think is fascinating because I am in the middle of writing a book right now. So let's get into your story. How did you get to this place where now you've got a book out, you've got all these images that y'all have put together, and you're inspiring people with art? Why was this such a dream at a young age? Like, how did that call to you?
Yeah, the first dream was to be a ballerina. So that was the first dream. And then, of course, artistic life evolves, and I went through from ballerina to being acrobat, and then now into the modeling, where I use all the skills that I have gathered through my artistic life now into my photography. And coming back to the book, as I was modeling and I was like posting all those photos on Instagram and social media, I really felt the urge of printing. I had enough
Mm.
of seeing, of just the digital stuff, of consuming photos only with screens. And that was the calling for me. Like I really had like I needed to see the photos on a bigger format, on paper, and just without notifications around or ads, and just like sit down with a coffee on the sofa and just like actually like enjoying photography. So that was my big calling when I started photography. I had it really, really quickly. Actually, the book I have launched a few months ago is my
Yeah.
fifth book. Um, and yeah, I know there is no digital PDF version of it for the one I'm always asking, because the goal is to print and the goal is to slow down and to don't use your phone and yeah, just enjoy the photos themselves.
Now, I really love that because we as digital photography has become what it has, right? And then we have digital world that goes into the online world. I feel you with that because even I have started printing photos that I really like. And recently, like a few weeks ago, I showed four prints in front of a group of about 80 people. And it just felt good to have something on the table to like really take it in. Like, you can only do so much with these backlit screens, computer monitors, and there's just something about a print, and
Mhm.
specifically in a book. You got to tell me though, like I know we touched on this briefly on our one of our pre-calls, is the task of picking the images. How did you find that process? you probably have like years of work, right, at this point, and you've got endless inspiration to pull from. How did y'all decide on some of these images to put the book together? Was there like a theme at some point?
Yes, my last book had a theme, and the theme is to I had gathered photos that have never been published on social media. So as
Ooh.
we know, social media is really restrictive in terms of a lot of things.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of photos that I have taken which were not able to be seen at all. And because I am really against censorship, I hate my photos to be like crossed or covered or anything like that. So I really felt the need to gather all those photos in one place and with a proper storyline through it, why this one is after another, and yeah, and make a beautiful book out of it. So there is some kind of exclusivity because the photos have never been seen, even though you follow me maybe many years on social media, you have not seen them, and uh, and they deserved to be printed. They are just like it's going from outdoors location to locations to studio, all kind of black and white color, all gender of lighting possible, gels, light painting, you call it. It's probably there.
Yeah.
Makeup, special effects. Yeah. So I think in terms of photography, it really globalized like every kind of photographies.
Mm.
And they are exclusive in a way that they have never been seen. That's why the book calls unseen.
I love that because that's a great theme to kind of like bring about as a project. How, and this is just me asking about the book stuff because like I said, I'm still writing one and I'm still formulating what I want mine to look like and feel like. Is how long of a process did it take for this recent book? Like to get it all together and make it make sense? And did you have to have like a lot of proofs put together and kind of a pre-flip through it kind of a thing?
It started actually almost 2 years ago. I started the
Woo.
selection, and I don't know. I left it aside. I started the selection. I don't know why. I let the project completely on the side. And then at the beginning of this year, I was like, now it's time for that project. And I went through all the pre-selection that I had made, added new ones, and um, and then I really did. And the problem then starts, it's the countdown, like cutting down. Because then you realize that you have way too many photos selected. Because also when you do a book, you have to consider the amount of pages, the layouts, and also the cost. Every page is an extra cost. So it's art, but it's also business, and you have to take decisions according to both. So it's really hard. Um, and making the cut is difficult.
Yeah, and most photographers and artists understand that having to edit and cut and add and subtract, we understand that very much. And I love that we're talking about this too because it kind of helps me remember that I've got to pick up where I left off and start the continuation of my journey to also keep writing and telling my story. So in this kind of expression, this project, did you do more than just photos? Did you tell any of your story in this, or is this just a visual story?
Now, in that book, I added inspirational quotes. And also, I added personal stories on some of the photos
That's
beside.
cool.
So it's not only photos. There's some text, and also it's divided in 3 chapters. And at the beginning of each chapter, I did write some text, which explain like more a deeper, yeah, why of chapter.
I love it. So let's go back to your younger self and you're in training for ballet or you're going from ballet to acrobatics. And what is some of your most favorite inspirational projects you did in that realm while you were still there? Something that
Uh,
challenged you or like really like brought some more passion to the surface?
I think like the biggest show I have performed on was just like epic for me, and because in many ways, one what was the biggest with 20,000 people in the audience.
Ooh, wow.
Two, it was outdoor, so it was
Mm.
arranged in a way that it was rain or shine in the contract, and we didn't have perfect weather every night. And it was acrobatics with silks. So any wind is a challenge with silks. And we had massive fireworks. We had dancers from Michael Jackson. It was a crazy show. And I was flying at 90 feet up in the air. It was just like a lot of adrenaline, a lot of excitement, and everything together. Um, yeah, I will never forget that show. Is Was that Calgary Stampede in Canada? Um, yeah, it was
That's
quite a
pretty awesome.
my career.
When you were working on these types of shows, and obviously you're in the classroom learning, you're with a group of people. Do y'all get to know each other pretty well on these productions, and just kind of like everybody knows what they're doing, and you're part of a team and stuff like that?
Well, everybody comes kind of as a freelancer,
Hmm.
but it gets put into the show as a production, and usually on those kind of big production everybody is extremely professional at what they are doing,
Yeah.
so it makes it really easy. So like the sound people are the best, the lighting people, the riggers, the artists, so everybody's just doing their job at their best, and it just works. Like we don't know each other from before, but once we are all put together, it just then everybody's doing what they are meant to do. It works.
And that's beautiful because I think that's very much like the world. If we all just do the part that we are going to do, whatever that is, whatever dream, whatever passion that we're pursuing, we find that we surround ourselves, maybe accidentally, with people who come alongside, and we all have this great grand production together of life,
Right.
especially in artistry. Tell me about when you first started the modeling aspect, because as a photographer's point of view, I'm thinking about, we eat this kind of stuff up. We love dancers, we love body motion, we love form. And actually, several weeks ago, there we have a ballet dancer that came to our convention, and he is just moved to Chicago, and he's just a delight to be around because there's a certain personality and energy that he has that we just love it. Do you find that this is the same with you working with photographers all over the world? Like everybody is just so excited to see you and work with you?
Yeah, I guess when I get to the point when I am with a photographer in a studio, then I guess yes, that he's excited to be with me because he has booked me, he has looked at my work, we've been through the process of pre-shoot, mood boards and
Yeah.
all that. So the moment when you finally get together in a studio and that's the moment to create, it is an exciting moment when you make it happen, right? So
Yeah.
I do have some photographers that are actually really stressed and they tell me like, "Oh, I didn't sleep last night. I'm finally working with you and I'm so stressed." Like, okay. So,
Oh, you figure everybody wants to do a good job or have a good project come to life, everybody's like, yeah, I
yeah.
could see that. That's totally fun. Um, I just love I have things dancing in my head now of just like literally like, movement, motion. What my next question was going to be, just casually. I find a lot of creatives like you have many interests, right? Which I feel like you do. You've kind of morphed into these things and they're all connected. Have you ever done self-portraiture for yourself?
No, I haven't. I don't enjoy shooting myself. I don't. I really don't. Like sometimes I have some people asking me like like requests, like from fans or whatever. They're like, "Oh, could you shoot that or shoot that?" I'm like, when I get at a shoot, if it's part of a project, yes, but I will not, I don't shoot myself. No, I don't.
No, I feel you on that one. I'm in agreement because as a photographer, I don't necessarily want to do self-portraits at all. And if I
Mm.
have done them, it's only because maybe somebody's doing a make a photo a week kind of a challenge where I kind of have to photograph myself. And it is definitely not my favorite thing in the world, but some people make a whole living on it, and I'm like, I
Yes,
just can't.
I know very talented art models that are amazing at self-shoot, at auto portraits. They are so, so good at it.
Well, it's good to know that we both have the same idea on that. Like if you ever needed to pick up a camera, we know that we'd be like, no, I'm not doing it. I did challenge myself. Like I was going to ask also, is there a recent challenge that you creatively put yourself through that kind of like it's not your normal routine? For an example, I recently at the same convention, I decided to, we'll call it model for other photographers and their projects, which is not my normal. And I just got some of the photos back and I'm like, oh, it's just, you just kind of see yourself differently when you've signed up for something you've never done before. Is there something that you've done maybe recently that was just so new that you had been exploring some ideas that really kind of like maybe pushed you beyond your limit just a touch? I know you've been through a lot, you've done a lot, but has there been something that maybe pushed you just a little?
Uh, I will call it getting out of comfort zone. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah. I do like when sometimes some photographer they push me out of my comfort zone. And sometimes in many ways it can be in posing too.
Yeah.
It's not recent, but I remember once when a photographer told me um, to pose in a relaxed way, and which is so difficult for a dancer because we are always in body tension. And he was just like, be strong but relax. And it took me completely out of my comfort zone of posing. I was like, what? How do I pose that? How do, how can I be strong and relaxed? And it really like triggered me. I was like, wow. Um, so this is like sometimes, yeah, direction of photographers can take me out of my posing comfort zone. And and then recently I had a surgery where I was not able during my recovery time I wasn't able to pose dance so much or acrobatics, so I had to take myself out of my comfort zone of posing and started like um, to do more portraits and do more fashion, and this was quite a was a challenge, but loved it. And since then, I actually kept it as part of my portfolio now, and I propose it to photographers because I enjoy it. Yeah.
And just in case y'all missed that, she had surgery, so she had to make a shift in how she approached the work.
Yeah,
And then I think it's lovely that you still liked the work that came out of it. It was just different work, right?
exactly. Mm.
And now you can move forward with, okay, I have this entire range that I can do now.
Yes.
And how was it shifting from like, total body controls dancing to more of a fashion shift? Because it is different because in fashion, right, you're more modeling the clothing and showing off the clothing, right? Or the accessories.
Right.
Did you have to have a mind shift on that when you started doing those for a season?
Yeah, it's like, well, my body was limiting me in terms of posing, so I was not even able to do the acrobatic posing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, well, that's where I am, and that's how much I can move. And yeah, I was doing what I could, and um, with my arms, a bit of hips to the side, but nothing like extravaganza, nothing like athletic.
Extremely
And
bendy.
so it was extremely, I loved it. I actually really enjoyed it. Um,
Was there a particular series that you enjoyed the most? Like, I don't know if you're kind of a fashionista in your regular life,
I'm not.
I'm kind of not, but
Not at all, I would say.
you're probably one of those that just dresses how they dress and you're comfortable and cute at the same time, right?
Like yoga pants, yes.
Yes. It's so funny because I have there's a designer that I love working with. She's got these amazing prints and she's actually working on this shirt for me right now and it's nearly done and she posted it on Instagram today. And so I'm just like ready for it to be mailed to me so I can wear it. And all I could think of was, my workout pants paired with it in the best way possible, right?
Right.
Being comfortable and cute. I love that.
Always comfort first.
Yes. So, as an artist, are there things beyond the photography and the posing and the dance that are there some other hobbies that you've dealt, kind of dived into when you're not doing all of these projects? Or do you,
Um, Yoga.
oh
I'm
yeah, yoga's
also,
great.
I'm also a yoga teacher and yoga practitioner. So yeah, a lot of my posing is also based on yoga, which is one of my passion too. And but yeah, pretty much my work and my passions are related, and yeah, it's always has been like that. And
I love it. And so many of us, and maybe I'm one of the few that it just for a long time it didn't make sense that they all went together. And now I'm to this point where, oh my gosh, they really do all go together. But for you, you knew this at a younger age. So what was it that really like what am I trying to ask? Like, how did you know that, and you had this like confidence, and maybe you had this security about yourself that your gifts and talents and whatever else, they all just made sense, and you didn't I'm not saying you didn't struggle, but like you just knew, I feel like you knew at a younger age than some of us. How was
yeah,
that for you? And who encouraged you, or did you find that within yourself?
yeah, like I just really enjoyed dancing when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that I was explained and told that I could do that as my profession, I was like, yeah, I can like do that for for a living. Okay, where do I sign up? And my teacher, my first teacher that when I was like 5 to 8 years old,
Mm-hmm.
saw talent and told my parents about it. And she was amazing because she explained like the process, where to audition to my parents, which were nobody was into dance, so nobody knew anything about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and my parents were really supportive. They drove me where I needed to be. They signed me up to this school, which was 6 hours away from home, and
Wow.
stayed at the boarding school and all of that. So they agreed to let me go at 10 years old to Paris and pursue my passion.
That is
So
so wild to me. And it's lovely and it's wild. I have an 8-year-old that's only 2 years older than my baby girl.
mhm.
But I imagine that you were ready for that, even at that young age, right? I mean, did you find that difficult to be that far away from your parents? Or you're just like, no, I'm all in. This is great. We'll just talk on the phone.
Yeah, I mean, at that time there were no cell phones, right? And
Yeah.
they were just phones with the card, and there were only four phones in the old school for 100 kids,
Oh my
so
gosh.
really limited time on the phone. We mostly communicated with letters. So
Oh.
my parents wrote me letters every day. I received letters, and my grandparents too, and care package, things like that. So that's the way how we kept in touch mostly.
So I'm sure it
And
made it a lot easier, right? To just have that connection back home and
yeah.
awesomeness. Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. That's just the sweetest thing. Like, I know that you pursuing the things and then having all that support, it just, I think it makes a difference when we all have that kind of support into something that we want to do.
Yeah.
And so that's just lovely. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
So as we're starting to round out our conversation, guess what it's time to talk about? We're going to talk about tattoos now, y'all. I know you've been waiting the whole episode to hear the story. So tell me all about the tattoo and give me that little bit of story.
So that's the tattoo.
Describe it to everybody for us. I love it.
It's the Om sign. So the Om
Yes.
yoga Om, the sound of the universe. So when I went, like I said, I am a yoga teacher, and I went to Rishikesh, to India, to the mother city of yoga.
Hmm.
Um, well, first of all, I always told myself I will never tattoo my body. For me, my body was like had to stay as it is. But then I went to India and I had all these meditation teachers and all these things and all this beautiful, spirituality.
Yeah.
And I had a calling at the end of my yoga teacher training. I was like, I have to tattoo the Om sign when I get back home. There
Mm,
was no question. It was just a calling. Like, I must have it. I need a reminder.
it made
It,
sense.
it needed to be somewhere where I could see it
Yeah.
because I wanted it as a reminder of that training. And yeah, I found like the best tattoo shop in my town. When I came back the next day, I was had it done. My boyfriend was like, "What? This is like not you. Like you always said you will never do a tattoo." And I was like, "I know. Don't ask. It's just
I had to do it.
I had to. Like it was like a higher calling. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but
Well, those of us who agree with you, we understand that there's a lot of thought that goes into a lot of tattoos, and it's like one of those when you know, you know. And when I was in Oregon in July, I just felt like I had to get a sea star, which is, you either call it a sea star or starfish or whatever. And I was just really, it was the same kind of a feeling in a moment where I was like, no, this is happening. And I found, and I've all know all about flash tattoos now. So I'm just like, wherever the local shop is, turns out there is not one in Cannon Beach, Oregon, but there is one, 8 miles down the road at Seaside. So I checked myself into the shop and got a little flash tattoo of a little sea star, and it's adorable. But it's one of those when you know, when you know. And what's great about your tattoo is, and that's what I've been doing with mine that are more visible now too, is it gives you something to look at to remind you with your own eyes, like,
yes.
this takes me back to this moment. This regrounds me.
Mhm.
It takes me straight back to my identity, whatever that might be, and it kind of like recenters you almost immediately, I
Exactly.
bet. Um, so as we're like we have to like say goodbye soon, but what I would like to know is what do we want to leave people with today? We've had a good conversation about art and creating and collaboration and production and dance and all this other stuff. What inspirational things can we leave people with today as we round out?
I would say if you have something in your heart, follow your heart and don't wait. If you have passions, go for them. Don't don't push it to the next day or next month, next year. I will do it. Just time is limited. Go for it. Go for it.
And I definitely echo that sentiment. So if you're sitting on a project, and I'll leave y'all with this today too, if you're sitting on something that's been sitting in your heart and mind for all year long and you still haven't picked it up, here's your permission slip to go pick it up because it could be something that will lead you to specifically where you needed to go next anyway. And it's all a grand piece of your puzzle, and the all the things are connected. And that's what I love about conversations like this is that we are all connected. So thank you so much for being with me today. And everybody stay tuned to the next episode of Tattoos and Toddlers. We'll talk to you soon.